Hello, my name is Jacob Tendy, and I'd like to give credit to Captain Machine for his excellent pre- and post-game review of Dungeons & Dragons 4th Edition, which I thought was a very objective and rather fact-based look at Dungeons & Dragons 4th Edition, and if you're interested or thinking about getting the system, it's worth watching. There'll be a link to it in the movie notes, so check him out. I wanted to, however, give my 2 cents on the subject, so I'm going to acknowledge right up front that I'm somewhat of a fanboy for 4th edition. So what you hear out of my mouth is going to be somewhat biased. I love the system, I love it to death, and I want to tell you why I love it in a very fact-based manner. I'm going to stick very heavily to what is good about the edition. I'm going to stay away from pinning blame on 3rd edition. It's a good system. Most people will agree with me it's a good system. Some people don't like it for themselves. That's their prerogative. I myself love it, so here we go. In my opinion, the greatest thing about Dungeons & Dragons 4th Edition is what I like to call static difference between characters. What this means is that most of the values on your character sheet that increase as gameplay goes on increase at the same rate for every character. Attack rolls, defenses, and skills all increase at a rate of +1 for 2 levels. That's for all characters, and that's for all attack rolls and all defenses and all skills. So what's the point of having classes if everyone's progressing at the same rate? Well, classes give you a straight bonus. This means that a level 15 fighter and a level 15 wizard will have the same difference between their fortitude defense as a level 1 fighter and a level 1 wizard. So why is this a good thing? Well, it lets the Dungeon Master produce threats which are dangerous for the entire party instead of just challenging for 1 or 2 people and hopeless for everyone else, or challenging for the entire party and trivial for 1 or 2 people. The next thing I like about Dungeons & Dragons 4th Edition is that character creation is a snap. You can easily make a character in 10 to 20 minutes, because you never have more than 4 powers of any particular type. The downside to this is that it's extremely difficult to make a character without the player's handbook handy, as you could in previous editions if you knew the book well enough. There are simply just too many powers to memorize. Another great addition to 4th Edition is the use of minions. Now if you don't know what a minion is, it's just like any other monster that you would fight, except that minions have 1 hit point. Now they usually have slightly increased defenses to compensate for this, but generally minions are the red shirts that your opponents are going to throw at you. They're meant to die in hordes. And yeah, some people have said, well, they die too quickly. That's the point, though. The point of a minion is to die. They stand in front of your players and make them feel heroic while they get kicked off of cliffs and, stabbed in the chest and generally get blenderized by characters with area of effect attacks. It's about adding cinematics to the game, and I think it does a very good job of it. I see the glow on players' faces when they've just smashed their way through a room full of orcs, and, it gives them a good feeling. And that's what's important, is when the players are having fun. And, I really think that's the crux of it. 4th Edition was designed to have fun. And I'm not saying you can't have fun with the other editions, but this edition was specifically designed to take the things from the other games that slowed them down, that bogged them down, that made the game more difficult to play, and it removed them or changed them so that the gameplay flows more smoothly and that you spend more time having fun and playing a high fantasy adventure where you get to knock people off of cliffs and cut your way through a room full of orcs rather than looking up grapple rules. Is 4th Edition perfect? No, it's not perfect. There are still things about it that bog it down. There are still things that make the gameplay slow to a crawl. There are still things that are not fun about it, as a lot of people have pointed out. It's not perfect. However, in my opinion, it is an advancement over the previous editions. Mostly the gameplay is fast, the mechanics are streamlined, and the books are more friendly to new players. So if you haven't played D&D before, this is the edition you've been waiting for. So I don't want to sound like an advertisement for Wizards of the Coast here, so I'm not going to, let 4th Edition escape without its fair share of complaints. There are some things about it which even I don't like. One of which other people have brought up is the relative dearth of material in the Dungeon Master's Guide. This is mostly due to the magic items being moved to the player's handbook. And I think, in theory, that was a very good change. Because, players want to see the magic items. That's, if you had to, put the magic items in an intuitive place, the back of the player's handbook is the ideal location. The problem is that the player's handbook is already stretching 250 pages before you get to the magic items. So by the time you get there, you aren't left with a whole lot of room to include all the wonderful little, doodads and stuff like that. They had room for portable holes, but it's generally pretty skimpy. I imagine that in future publications like the Second Player's Handbook, you will see a massive expansion of this section now that they've gotten the main, weapons and armor out of the way. So that can be covered in the future. However, that's never an excuse for having the base book be that empty. The other thing, going back to character creation, is that it's very difficult to create characters and level them up without the player's handbook around. If you're like me and you're a dungeon master and you're the only or one of the few people in the group who has a book, and when it gets around time to create a character or level up a character, you find yourself passing around the book and having to help everybody out a lot. You can't really, I guess I was sort of spoiled with 3rd edition because there was the open gaming license and there was the online SRD. Which brings me to my next topic. That would be online content. 4th edition has a lot of online content and they're planning to add even more. And really, you should have seen this coming. The fact that you're listening to this review shows that gamers are becoming more electronic. They're using the internet more for gaming-related purposes. They're talking to each other. They want to interact about D&D over the internet. And so this is just sort of the logical extension that D&D, has to go to. Wizards has done a very good job with the content that they've already produced. Their D&D Insider material looks very good. It's subscription only at the moment. I don't have a subscription, so I can't tell you about the subscription material. But if it's anything like the material that they were, producing before the subscription barrier came up, it's very good stuff. It's stuff that you want to look at, that you'll find yourself going to, if you do go to it, you'll find it very useful. Some of the stuff that they've come out with since then, like the character builder, even though it only goes up to level 3, for the non-subscription version at least, it's very good. It's an excellent character builder. I was just stunned when I saw it. I would absolutely love to have that thing up to level 30 and give it to my players who don't have the books, but that would require a subscription. So far, though, that's the only thing I've really seen that come out of them. I wouldn't pay them their monthly fee just to read the articles and just to use the character builder. It seems a little expensive for what you're getting out of it right now. But once they introduce the game, the online gaming table and the character viewer, that is well worth the $5 a month that they're asking. Once the full range of content that they're planning, if it comes out, and if it's as awesome a quality as the character builder is, and just blows me away that much, I will definitely be subscribing to them. And, it gets even better because I'm pretty sure you could just share an account between you and the rest of your group. Everybody chip in $1, a month. And then you have a fantastic resource of material. You have, basically all the books are online. They have, and the character builder there is very good. And the game table is just going to be, it looks really beautiful. Well, that's all I can really say about it here. I encourage you to go check out the books yourself. Buy them if you're interested. If it looks good. This game is great. You will not regret it. Happy gaming!